Although Republicans currently control the White House and both chambers of Congress, they still lack the supermajority needed to pass a funding bill without Democratic support. Ham explained, they still need 7 Democrats to actually get on board, to actually push this resolution through to keep the government funded. So they needed to find a way to get 7 Democrats, and quite frankly, they simply were not able to do that. In his view, the inability to secure those votes reflects the Republicans' refusal to compromise. In order to do that, they would have needed to have given something up, not necessarily give Democrats everything, but give them something. And what we saw right now was clearly they thought the fact that Democrats were seeking subsidies to extend healthcare to perhaps the most vulnerable people in the country was a bridge too far. What began as a high-stakes negotiation has now turned into what Ham described as a political game of chicken. Both sides are waiting to see who will blink first. For some Republicans, the shutdown presents an opportunity to achieve long-standing goals of reducing the size of government. Donald Trump has said we can get rid of a lot of things that we don't like, so this is actually advantageous to them, Ham observed. Asked whether Republicans were playing a calculated political game, Ham didn't hesitate. I do believe that the president's party has already done that, he said, pointing to massive cuts that had already taken place earlier in the year. He added that the shutdown coincides with a wave of voluntary departures from federal service. We also know that there are also going to be another 100,000 jobs that are coming off the rolls, those people who have accepted buyouts from the federal government. Those buyouts end tonight at midnight, so you're going to see another 100,000 jobs come off the rolls. According to Ham, the White House sees the shutdown as leverage. When the president was actually suggesting that somehow they could do additional painful cuts, I do believe that was a negotiating tactic to try to get Democrats back to the table. And more importantly, what we're hearing from inside the White House is they believe, Republicans do, that they have the upper hand, that the American people will blame Democrats for this. And moreover, they also believe that Democrats simply don't have the stomach to see a shutdown take place for a very long time. The perception that Republicans may gain the upper hand politically is not new in Washington's shutdown dramas. Both parties often enter such standoffs calculating who the public will blame. Ham suggested that the Trump administration believes it will not bear the brunt of voter anger. The Republican strategy, he argued, is to wait out the Democrats, assuming they will fold first out of fear that a prolonged shutdown will harm not just the economy, but also their political standing. But such brinkmanship is not without risks. Past shutdowns have shown that while short disruptions may be tolerated by the public, longer ones tend to spark widespread frustration and even backlash against the party perceived to be responsible.